backgrounds already. But,
okay, so all right, I have record going. This is what we're doing is playing the game Outbreak Undead, if my book can be seen. And this is recording for Petrie's Family Games. Come check us out. Plenty of product, plenty of role-playing, plenty of board games. It took us a lot longer than I originally expected to do a character generation. It is a very, very difficult character generation for this game. Lots of math, lots of statistics, as well as Don here found out that it's very, very labor intensive and almost is like writing an essay.
Well, it's also the huge learning curve. So next time it wouldn't be so hard. Yeah,
that too. It's a very, very large learning curve. We haven't played this before, so apologize if we're kind of moving through kind of slow. So here's the situation. Everybody is currently on an airplane. You guys are traveling commercial airlines. Let's put you on a United. Nothing ever bad happens on United, right? So
only one lady got
skies. Friendly skies.
The friendly skies. You guys are on a United flight flying into Dallas. And it's a long flight. You've been coming from Miami into Dallas. Some of you guys may be coming back on a business trip, leaving for a business trip, or just had a really funky connection. But you're flying in, and the over the loudspeaker, the pilot says, "Attention, United passengers. There seems to be an issue with the airport. We're going to be put into a holding pattern for a while. Just sit back and relax, and we should have you guys pulling up to the gate just momentarily. But we'll continue to keep you posted as we learn more." And it just seems like hours are going by as you're just flying. You feel the plane turn, and then you're flying, and then you feel the plane turn.
I'm reading.
And it's just like, God, have we landed yet? Yes.
After about 40 minutes, he would realize this is not normal, and he would get up and go to the very back to the bathroom, because that's also right behind that is where the stewardesses are.
Sure.
Well, excuse me, flight attendants.
Sure.
And he would go back there because he would know a lot of the flight crews. He'd go back there and be like, "Is there something I need to know?"
Nick,
right.
We need to go through and introduce kind of who our characters are, so that for example, that behavior makes sense.
Okay, that's actually a good point. So, Foxy, go ahead and introduce your character.
So, my name is Patricia, and I'm playing a character named Foxy Darden. And Foxy is a former soldier who, his birth name is actually Foxy. He was born with red hair. And he is currently a sky marshal, and that's why he is on this flight.
Don, why don't you go ahead and go next?
Well, Don is from Kentucky, and he lives in Miami now. I went to college for a very long time just so I could study to be a great psychologist, and now I'm a salesman for dog food. I am traveling all over the world. I make a lot of money, and I really enjoy rolling my dough.
And when he says he's a dog food salesman, think the executive level, to where he is the one doing the business meetings, the boards for like Walmart.
He's on top.
He's on top. He's not going door to door trying to sell Alpo.
Yeah.
Mason, go ahead and go next.
Okay, Mason is a search and rescue climber in the Rockies in Colorado, and he is coming back from doing some climbing in the Andes in South America, and came back to Florida, and now is coming into Dallas to transfer back to Colorado.
And last but not least, Brant. I don't know what your character name is. Sorry, you didn't label it.
That's why I'm Brant, and my character's name is Alan Wilson. He is a college student. I've figured out who or what he is. He's currently working for your major brand electronics store like Best Buy and such to make things get by. His parents are farmers, so it's not exactly rolling in the dough like other people. But, couple of scholarships, and he could move on his way to his dream of becoming the next great writer. Until then, he'll just have to settle for coach.
So coming back from like spring break or something like that?
He is actually on his way to visit his mother in Colorado.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. You guys are in this holding pattern for a long time. Everybody notices the guy stand up, kind of walk towards the back, even though the seatbelt sign is still illuminated. Walk towards the back, and Foxy, what do you do when you get back to the flight attendants?
He goes. They would have the curtain pulled, so he goes through the curtain.
Right.
And are any of the flight attendants ones that he doesn't know personally?
I'm pretty sure that at the beginning of the flight you would have introduced yourself as the Sky Marshal, so they knew. Everybody at this point knows you. They probably don't know you on a personal level, but it's more of you introduce yourself at the beginning of the flight.
Because they don't identify themselves when they go on board. Basically, it's in the passenger information that they have ahead of time, so they know which person is if they need to get them.
Sure. We'll say that you recognize.
Well known because of his red hair.
Right. Yeah. We'll say that one of the flight attendants,
So I step through and I turn. Well, why not? I have a friend who was a flight attendant for United, so I turn to Steve and I say, "Is there something that I need to know?"
And Steve kind of responds. He goes, "I don't know. The captain's not telling us much. He said that there's some kind of disturbance down at the airport. We're not sure if it's weather or these days it could be anything. Somebody walked in with a bottle of perfume or something."
But it's not something directed at the plane.
No, he didn't mention anything about the plane. If you look out the windows, you can see there's about seven other flights that are in the same holding pattern.
I wonder if they got a threat to one of the terminals or something.
Yeah, who knows? Crazy times we live in.
Well, I'll head back and let me know if there's anything I can do.
Yeah, we'll let you know. If you do you need to use the phone to call the captain? Maybe talk to him yourself?
Well, I don't want to distract him if I don't need to, but like I said, if you think I need to do something, you just give me the high sign.
Other than dealing with grumpy passengers when we get them off, I think that's going to be the only thing.
Yeah, the guy 2 rows in front of me is not happy.
Is that the dog
I am
food?
not a happy passenger. I wanted to land about an hour ago.
If he looks at his watch any harder, he might crack the face. He might have a meeting he's going to be late for.
I'm actually going to finish this novel.
And Steve even cracks up. He goes, "If that's the guy that's in the last row of first class, yeah, he is driving us bonkers."
I wouldn't be surprised, Don, if you were concerned about your dog.
My dog has been sitting in the cage for about an hour now.
Actually.
By the way, for the viewers, Don, in addition to having a dog food company, he travels with his dog, because what better sales pitch to have than having your dog eat the dog food in front of the board and see how much he likes it. So Don has a chow chow by the name of
Yogi.
So just to let everybody know, that is Yogi is in a pet carrier in the belly of the plane. All right, so you go back to your seat, you sit down, and you're sitting there looking outside, and you definitely, the weather looks clear as day. Clear skies, visibility is 1,000,000. There's nothing wrong.
Oh, look, the old Astrodome.
Right, and
where it used to be.
And you're sitting there circling. Finally, the captain comes over the intercom and says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got some bad news. We've been holding for so long that we're starting to dig into our fuel reserves here. We're going to have to go ahead and go to divert to the closest airport. So we're going to try to make it to Phoenix. Just sit back, relax. If you need something, our wonderful flight staff will help you figure out anything or any needs, or also help you with rescheduling any connection flights that you may have. Again, I apologize for the inconvenience, but we just can't sit around and hold here for any longer. So we're going to go ahead and divert and sit back and enjoy your flight. Thanks for choosing United. Turns off the microphone, and you feel the plane start to go out.
What are the other planes that we out there? Are they also peeling off?
Some of them are. Some of them are staying in the holding pattern. You're assuming that it's probably the ones that have been sitting there holding for a long time are going, all right, I got to divert. Some are going north to probably what you're guessing, probably Chicago, or and then some are also probably going east out to Atlanta. But United, or this flight for whatever reason is heading towards Phoenix.
Okay.
So they start. Yeah, looks like you had a
So
question.
basically, one of the things that he does on the flights, because it makes him look less likely to be an air marshal, he always orders alcoholic drinks. So you get the little bottle, and then you get the cup with the soda, and you mix them together. Only he just pockets the bottles. So he's got like 4 bottles of bourbon in his pocket.
In his pockets, just drinking soda.
And when they go into a long flight holding pattern, they usually offer free drinks too. So he got 2 more. So just to let you know, he's got those in his pockets. And what he's thinking is, well, that's cool. I thought I was going into Dallas. If I'm going into Phoenix, I might be able to pop home to Legit City and visit.
Okay. So as you're flying home, and I love the reference, Trish. As you're flying towards Phoenix, you're in the air for about an hour, and then the flight or the captain comes on again and goes, all right, folks, I hate to be giving you more bad news, but it looks like there's some kind of disturbance happening at Phoenix as well. We talked to Dallas. They think they have it under control. We're going to turn back around and try to make it. Right now, we're just crossing the border from New Mexico into Arizona. But it's not too bad. We'll ETA to Dallas is about another hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh my God!
Yeah, did you bring the sequel?
That's not
Yeah.
normal.
I didn't bring the sequel. I'll have to start on a different one. That's the only cherry.
And just because I can see this happening, I could see the plane being not really a full flight. Probably everybody has their kind of own row. So at this point, I'm sure that, as long as you guys are kind of close to each other, you could maybe towards the front end of coach and the back end of first class is probably where you guys are located, because the Sky Marshal would probably have one of the first class seats. I know Don would be in first class. The other two would be in the
Sky Marshal can be anywhere on the plane.
He can.
He's actually in the first row out of first class because it's more leg room and he can get up and move quicker.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
there you go.
I'm opposite you because I'm also with the more leg room.
And then Brant, we'll say that you lucked out and got an exit row.
Woohoo.
Hey.
Well, the other thing is, that's actually one of the things I thought about was how tall I was going to have him, because my friend Travis at 6'5" does not fit in airplanes well. So I was like, I'm not going to be that tall. So yeah, he's basically 6'2", 6'3". So it's a little tight, but it's not
undoable.
awful.
Okay.
I finished Mort by Terry Pratchett. I'm going to have to start on my Green Lantern graphic novel.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
So you guys start, you feel the plane turn around and it's cruising. You're looking outside and you're seeing it's starting to get a little bit darker. It's about 5 p.m. And you're cruising back to Dallas. I need everybody. Let's go ahead and let's try out this system with these rules.
We need 6s and percentiles. Is that correct?
6s and percentiles. Yes.
6s and percentiles.
So let's go ahead and have everybody roll a spot listen.
Okay.
It is in the basic skills on the right side, second from the bottom. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to roll a 2D 10 and try to get under that. If you get under that by more than 10 and every 10 thereafter, you get a success marker. If you roll over 10, it's a failure, and it doesn't mean that you don't necessarily see what's going on, but you have to narrate a way to either the success or the failure.
Clearly, I have settled in with my eyes closed, my headphones on to explain the 90, which is not under 33.
Holy cow. Okay, so 90 is 6 failures.
Yeah. So he's totally zoned out.
So not only are you zoned out, but I could also probably see that because it's a long flight and everything, you've been taking advantage of the free cocktails. So are just kind of nursing a buzz right now. So
I'm in a happy place.
so later on, when you might have to be running around and stuff like that may provide a little bit of a disadvantage.
He's an active guy. He's been sitting in this seat for 5 hours. Yeah, we're good.
So everybody else, what did you guys get?
My spot listen is 46, and I rolled a 10. God, these dice are so beautiful.
So then you actually got a total of 3 successes. So not only will you see what I'm about to reveal, but you can also have an extra advantage if you'd like. You don't necessarily have to use them for this go around. If I understand the system right, you can also save those successes and turn them into competency points later. Don, what did you get?
I got a 33 out of 35.
Ooh,
so
nice.
No wasted effort. So you made it. And I'm sorry, Brant, what was your character's name?
Alan, sorry, I don't know how to change the name on the screen.
Oh, okay. Alan, what did you get?
This had to have happened when I put the book down to search for the graphic novel, because I rolled a 34 under 40%. So,
okay, so you no wasted effort as well. You also made it. So for those of you that just made it, you realize that the tone of the engine has changed. So it's normally you got that.
That doesn't sound good.
It's the tone sounds like it's just gotten quieter in from the engines.
I've ridden on planes before.
But Foxy, one thing that you'll notice is not only do you hear that change, but with your outstanding success there, you kind of glance out the window and you realize that the 2 engines on the right are not. They don't look like they're running. You see the thing spinning, but it's not. If you can see the blades spinning in midair, it's not spinning fast enough and not.
No, that's not good.
So, and when I say the blades, I mean the blades inside the turbine.
Yeah, the fan.
The fan. Yeah, the turbo fan. So what do you do at this point?
I get up and I'm going to go to the. How big a plane are we on? Are we on the one that has the forward crew section and the back crew section for the flight attendants? Or
Yeah,
just
probably. I'm thinking. I think it's the kind of planes that Southwest flies, where it's the 3 seats and the 2 seats. You got the center aisle, and then when you get into first class, it's just 2 seats and 2 seats. It's like I want to say it's a 737 or something like that.
So it's not the giant planes, but it's not a dinky one either. Yeah.
Right. It's a standard size airline.
Right. I'm going to head to the flight attendants again because that's bad.
When you pull the curtain back, they are scrambling. So they are strapping down things and stuff like that. One of them glances at you and goes, "Sir, you need to get back to your seat," and then realizes that you're that passenger. They go, "I need you to help keep the passengers calm. It appears that we've been in the air for too long, and we might have ran out of fuel."
Understood.
Just
and
so you know,
I go back forward because I have been trained what to do, because I've gone through some of the training that the flight attendants go through.
Right. And
just so you know, I'm calm. You don't need to worry about calming me.
Because Bruce is.
I'm calm.
So, and oblivious to the thing.
Yeah,
One other
I'm good.
One other thing that you notice is a lot of the passengers have noticed the change in engine tones as well. And some of them are even unbuckling to where they can go to a window and look to see what's happening.
Oh, you don't want to do that. Just have a seat. Everything's fine.
Believe me, at this point, Steve would go up front, get on, and say, everyone needs to sit down and buckle in.
So that's what you're doing, you said?
No, that's what Steve would be doing.
Okay, well, the flight attendant.
My flight attendant friend. And if he needs backup, I will back him up.
Yeah, he will probably have you do it because he is trying to do secure other things, like the food cart and all this other stuff.
So I'm going to go forward and I'm going to grab the mic that's between first class and the cabin, because that's where my seat is, actually, is right by that.
Right.
And I'm going to get online and I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, I realize I'm not in a uniform, but I am a member of the flight team. I happen to be deadheading on this flight. I need everyone to take their seats. I need everyone to buckle in. If you are with someone that needs help, please buckle them in. There is the possibility that we may need to deploy oxygen or to get into a crash position. If that happens, these will drop down, just like you were told at the beginning of the flight. You will put it over your face, and if you are sitting with someone that needs help, you will then put it over their face. But right now, everyone sit down, buckle in, seats up, put the trays away.
I need you to go ahead and roll a diplomacy persuade.
Nick, while she's doing that, I would like to, with the group that's in my area,
Immediate area.
and continue along the lines of what I was saying to help calm it, because I have a pretty decent percentage in the skill calm others.
Then I will allow you to roll that as well to kind of calm them down and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll basically say, yeah, see, I told you someone with authority will be here. Talking about just get buckled, follow instructions. It's all going to be all right.
Bruce, these
Inside
are the
I'm
best
going, well,
dice
I've read
in the
this
world.
book.
Nick, I rolled 12.
Wow.
I love these dice.
I recently gave those to her. She loves me now.
So
no divorce for you.
So you are able to convince majority of the passengers to sit down. A lot of them are still, they're sitting down. You're not quite sure they're, you got them to do that you wanted them to do. They're not necessarily happy about it.
So Nick,
yeah.
On my roll, out of a 47%, I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Calm others to back her up, at least in the area where I can reach, which is coach.
Right, in the little immediate area and stuff like that. So yeah, you're able to the people that are near you are a lot calmer and actually have their seatbelts on and stuff like that. At this point in time, Trish, you start getting everybody situated. The plane kind of just does one of those numbers, and then you realize that the plane is not necessarily level right now. It's kind of doing one of these numbers.
The tail is down or the head is down? The
tail is down.
That's not as bad.
Right.
I know way too much about this in real life.
But you being the trained flight marshal, you can definitely tell that they're descending. The reason they have the nose up is they're trying to achieve that best glide type thing. So
I know that. I know nose down is not where you want to be right now.
Right. So right. So I take it you take your
I'm
seat.
going to pull down the jump seat because that way I'm facing down, and that way if anybody pops up, I see them.
Okay.
And I'm going to buckle into the jump seat, which also has the shoulder straps.
Right. So you're getting into the jump seats where you can look down through coach. First class passengers, Don, you're in there with one other first class passenger, and he looks like he just woke up from a nap and is going to walk towards the front bathroom. So Foxy, he's behind you, so you don't necessarily see him. And one of the flight attendants unbuckles so he can start arguing, no, sir, you need to get back to your seat. You need to get back to your seat. As you're kind of watching this commotion, you feel something in the plane like really start buffeting. So the whole plane starts shaking.
Yeah.
And then that's when the nose drops.
Oh no.
And that's basically they've hit a wing stall, so that it drops and starts going hard.
Yeah, anybody looking at Foxy, his eyes just got real big.
The captain comes on the intercom and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain. Please sit down in your seats, buckle your seatbelts. We are gonna have to be going in for an unexpected landing. Please remain calm. We have the best flight crew in the world on here, and we are gonna try to land it towards safe as possible." And then you hear he forgets to click off the microphone, and you hear a warning alarm going off. Sounds like a stall horn, very much like a stall horn. And he's looking at he starts talking to the other pilot. He's like, what are you doing? Why can't we get any airspeed? He's like, I'm pushing down. I can't get any airspeed. And then he goes, well, what's going on? And then they both say, oh shit. The plane turns and pulls back. You hear that stall horn continually going. At this point in time, people are panicking in the plane, except for Bruce, who is nice and loose.
I'm listening
Just
to the
some
girl.
turbulence.
I'm listening to the girl from Ipanema at this point. Dun, 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 dun.
Foxy goes into I'm large and in charge mode and starts bellowing. You will sit down. You will buckle in. You will put your hands over your head and you will bend forward. That means you. And he starts calling people. He's bellowing, but he's not standing up.
At one of those times you go, that means you. The guy looks at you and goes, me, right as that side of the plane rips off. And all you see is him go, whoo! And
Wow.
and then you realize that what ripped off the side of the plane, that wall of the plane, was because there's no longer a wing.
Yeah.
On that side. And as the plane starts to do that spin and that open area is now facing down.
I don't think calm others is going to help right now.
There's a reason I didn't stand up from my buckled in position.
So that opening is facing the ground, and what you actually see is like mountainous style terrain. And it's approaching quite fast. But the problem is if you now go to that up, because when you only have one wing, you do this. You only have that one wing. So as you're coming down, everybody kind of realizes, oh crap, we're gonna hit hard, probably upside down. When it hits, you get the initial impact, and then you see pieces of the roof start shredding away as the ground is going by really fast. It's shaking really hard. I need everybody to make a composure roll.
So does this mean I'm alert now?
Oh, hey.
You're awake. What?
Okay.
What's going on?
What?
Oh.
Nope. Horribly bad.
The reason why it's horribly bad, Bruce, is because you were in this happy place, enjoying this nice buzz and you felt like you were kind of floating and kind of going all over the place.
Really
and next
nice.
thing you know,
Nice.
and next thing you know, it's a big boom, and you open your eyes and you see the plane falling apart around you.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Yeah. I got a 75 over a 33.
So terrible.
I got a 12 over a 57.
A 12 over a 57. So what we'll allow you to do is, because you each got about 3 successes and 3 failures, what ends up happening is
Well, you haven't got Trish or my rolls yet.
Yeah, I know, but they're next to each other because he's in the front of the coach and he's in the back of the first class.
Okay. Gotcha.
So when that happens, it hits a big bump. Your seatbelt actually breaks, and you start flying forward, because you have the momentum of the aircraft at this point. Don, as you're sitting in your first class you see a person flying, as the airplane is massively decelerating because it's dragging on the ground. You see a person go flying by you. You actually have the capability to grab if you would like to, and like hold him by the ankles.
Yeah, he's gonna grab him. The instant he sees him, he's like, just reaches out for him.
Reaches, you get him by the ankle and are kind of pulling him in, as this plane is going, bonkers. Brant, how did you do?
I rolled a 37 and I have a 61% on composure.
So
wow.
So you are a sea of calm.
Yeah, he is.
In this, I could even see the point of, it's shaking and everything, and you've even like just reached over and like just kind of casually just do this to your carry-on, to where you have your carry-on.
I've got to save my Green Lantern graphic novels, and then tuck it under safely.
Right. So you're just making sure that okay, yeah, we're gonna get through this. I mean, with that kind of a role, I could even see you being the guy that sings Amazing Grace as the plane is in the middle of crashing.
Oh yeah, if I had bagpipes, look out.
All right, Foxy, how did you do?
I got a 25.
And what's your composure?
It's 40.
Okay, so yeah, you're doing real well as well. I'll even say that because Mason actually flew past you, you were actually able to do the first grab to kind of slow him down, and then allowing Don to realize, oh crap, somebody's falling, and then kind of pull him in. You passed
him to me.
So between the two of you, you guys managed to.
I slowed him down, and you caught him.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you very much.
So the plane finally comes to a lurching halt, and then it goes to the side where the leftover wing is done. You realize that a lot of the seats and everything have been wrenched out, especially the ones on that one side. And as you start looking around, you start realizing that you guys are the only survivors. You four in this plane, because since it dragged on the ground for so long, it just left a trail of destruction in this landing. For you guys, it was a good landing because you can walk away from it. It's not a great landing because you can't reuse the Air Force.
Away from is a good landing. If you can reuse the plane, it's a great landing. This was only good.
It was only good, not for the pilots though.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what do you guys do at this point?
Well,
the first thing I'm going to do is, because the first thing he would do is check the cockpit to see if they survived in the cockpit or not. Because the front of the plane did better than the back of the plane.
Right. You realize that when you open the door to the cockpit is no longer there. So it looks like when it hit like this, the cockpit took the impact and sheared off. And then as it was dragging, that's why the tail end of the section just slowly got disintegrated as it was dragging down.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are literally in a segment of the fuselage, kind of in the center of the aircraft.
Right.
Or front center.
Then he's immediately going to go and.
Well, hold on. While you're checking that, what is everybody else doing?
Well, since Don's right there and Mason is a little confused, Mason is in the what the heck just happened? Why? Last time I knew we were heading to Phoenix. This isn't Phoenix. What the heck?
No, it's not.
And Don, you are still strapped in, hanging upside down.
Yeah, well,
holding him, and he's hanging onto your arms.
So he has his arms like this, and he's like, well, no, it's not. This is not Phoenix, and it's not Dallas. Can I get some assistance?
Oh, sure. He stands up and starts helping to... Then the moment he stands up, he is now going to start looking around. He goes to and he'll go get his first aid kit out of the overhead compartment for what good it is.
Well, there's probably there's probably even
There's one to the wall in
Right.
first class.
Then
There's
he
one.
would
I
he
would
would
I would
immediately
several.
grab that one.
I would say that where the overhead compartments were the way the plane crashed, those are probably gone.
Okay then.
But there are some.
We'll say that yours is intact just because that's where your bag is, so that's where you have some of your starting gear.
Yeah.
Well, there are some on the wall at shoulder
But I'll
level.
just grab the first aid kit that's right
Several
there
spots.
and then start looking around. And again, he's still a little dazed, and he realizes fairly quickly there's no one to help.
Right. You should notice that the only person in first class still is Don. The other guy was still standing up when the whole thing happened. The back area, as you walk back a little bit further back in coach, you have your seat, you have like 4 seats back, and you have another guy that's sitting there still singing Amazing Grace as he's calming himself down.
Actually, since all that was going on beforehand, he was going to try and let himself down.
Okay, sure.
Is there? And then he's going to start checking to see if there's any other survivors.
You notice that your seat, your row, was the last row that didn't get disintegrated. So like when you get yourself down and you look behind you, you just realize it's a trail of destruction.
Wow. I don't know what your plan is, God, but I'm glad it wasn't that.
Wow.
Then I scoop down and pick up a package of peanuts, rip it open, and start eating them as they walk in. Turn around and go, oh, I'm not the only one. You guys made it too?
Yeah. Let's see if there's any survivors outside of the fuselage. So I'm going to go out to at least look around. Or you want to come with me, Alan?
I'll go with you.
I got to save my dog.
Well, we can hear him.
Yeah, they chose a great time to start barking. You hear that, and you as you walk out, you realize that your Chow Chow is wandering around. So not only because it landed on its roof, ripped open, the cage kind of hit and bounced and bounced and bounced and popped open. I mean, Chow Chow is a tough dog, and they built in padding. You know that he got out.
That much fur between you and the outside world,
right? You know, so he's out. He looks rattled, but he looks, he's not limping or anything like that, and he's kind of wandering around, just trotting around.
Yogi.
And he sees you and runs over.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Do we even see any? I assume we don't even see any bodies or anything.
It looks like the crash site goes for about 2 miles.
Yeah. Okay.
And you just see you do see some bodies.
There's also some that will be disintegrated in small parts in a crash like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He is going to start walking back just to see if there's any chance anybody.
You get to the first couple and they're long gone.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm following him.
Okay.
I'm getting my leather duffel out from under my seat.
Okay.
Because it was wedged in pretty good, so hopefully it's still under my seat.
Yep, that's fine. And so I assume you're probably grabbing your bag as well, Mason.
Yeah, we're ahead. Once we see that, I'll come back and then it will be a grab stuff.
Okay.
Make sure what we have is still intact.
Yeah, so you're able to grab the stuff that you had on the flight fairly easy. You start walking back towards the thing. Let me try to kind of illustrate this.
I'm also gonna grab is any of the little kitchen area for first class, if I can get peanuts, pretzels, little cans of apple juice or tomato juice, anything like that, because I don't know where we are.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you can grab. There's some stuff in the front cart. Like I said,
I know there wouldn't be a lot. There'd probably be, a couple dozen cans.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you. There's like 4 or 5 sodas that didn't burst. That you're able to pick out. And
don't open them right away. Just saying.
And then there's probably half a container or half a carton of orange juice, and then there's a couple of bags of pretzels that you find, like 3 or 4 bags of pretzels that you find.
Found some peanuts.
Yep. I'm taking the first aid kit that I have off the wall and putting it in my bag with mine. So I have an extra first aid kit.
Right. Okay. One thing that you will notice, and pardon my terrible artwork and stuff here. So that's what's left of the wing. Here, let me get the spotlight. So this right here is what's left of the wing up here. This is the fuselage part that you guys are walking out of. So you guys are walking towards the destruction. Every once in a while that you do see some small fires because when the wing exploded, you know, you had jet fuel there. So there is some of the things are on fire. Every once in a while you come across a seat that still has somebody buckled in, but it looks like when the thing tore apart, they just basically became a basketball that was dribbled on the mountain floor. So it's just, you know, there's nothing left to save. So it, you know, it's pretty rough here. Judging by does anybody have navigation?
No.
No.
Yes.
All right, so Foxy, go ahead and give me a navigation roll.
Oh, of course I roll real bad. I rolled an 87. I have navigation at 42.
Okay.
Thank you. That's the first failure anyone's had except me. So thank you, Foxy. I appreciate that.
So that's 4 bad things that happened. Or 4 failures. So not only do you not know where you are, you're not sure what state you're in, because it could be New Mexico, it could be West Texas, maybe even Arizona, but you think that you turned around right at the border of Arizona. There's no telling at this point, nor do you have any idea, what you can figure out is that there is, which way north is because you see the sun setting. And you're like, okay, well, that way's west. So I know that. But everything else is kind of terrible.
So my question is, do we need to settle down here? Are they going to send anybody else out here to pick us up, or are we going to need to go back?
They'll have people out here in no time.
They'll have a search team, but there's no telling how long it's going to take to get here. And I don't know if you gentlemen understand why we got turned around, but apparently there was a problem at both the Dallas airport and the Phoenix airport. So there could be rioting or something going on. So it might take them a little bit to get organized, but there's no way they don't come looking for a downed plane.
Oh yeah, we got shade and peanuts, pretzels here.
I got a bottle of bourbon if you got a Pepsi.
Well, I'm thinking that we want to go back up and grab blankets and pillows from first class, those cushions, and make ourselves a little spot because we don't want to be sitting on this hard ground. It'll get cold.
Well,
Yeah, at least we're not on an island.
I've actually, if I can get to the cargo and my stuff still intact, I do have some camp stuff and rations.
I think we need to help each other get to the, exactly like you said, if we can get to the cargo, maybe we can find some stuff up there.
So
Okay.
the problem is the cargo is all scattered about, you know, a mile and a half this way.
Yeah.
So you probably will describe each other's bags to you, and I'll tell you what, everybody can go ahead and give me a search, and we'll see what you guys can find.
Oh, let's hope. Oh no.
So is a 000 a 0 or a 100?
That's a 100, so that's an automatic failure.
Wow. And
Unfortunately.
search is what I do. So
And what did you have for search?
48.
48. Okay. So 5 failures there. Technically, I should have had you rolled a disadvantage, Bruce, because I forgot that you're still kind of buzzed. But I don't think it would have mattered.
I don't think it would have made it worse. No.
So the dice already knew that you were going to fail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don, what'd you get?
I have a 45 and I rolled a 47.
So you barely just failed. Okay, so we have right now we're dealing with 5 negatives across the group. Foxy, what'd you get?
I am trying to turn my cameras around. All I've got is your screen and one face. So for search, I have a 58% because of what he did in the military. I rolled a 29.
Okay, well, so okay, you got 2 successes there, almost 3, but 2 successes there. So that cancels out 2 of Bruce's 5. And then Brant, what'd you get?
I have a 30% and rolled 27.
Nice.
Nice.
And you barely. I'll tell you what. With your 1 success, I'll give it to you. So you guys ended up finding your luggage, but here's the thing. So you did have a net of 1 failure or 1 negative. So the issue is let's go ahead and roll randomly for one of you guys. Tell you what, everybody roll everybody roll a 6-sider and tell me who rolled the lowest.
5.
2.
6.
4.
I did.
All right. So you guys find all the luggage. The bags that you had checked. Oh, yep, that's mine over there. That's my briefcase. So you have your checked bags. And then you realize where Brant's is. He found it, but it's currently surrounded by wreckage that's on fire.
Oh no.
Oh my.
So
No, I just bought that collection.
I'm gonna grab
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Spider-Man 1 through 50.
So we're gonna say that his stuff is right here in this wreckage, and we'll put a little stamp there for Spider-Man 151 right in the middle of it.
You now have 30 seconds to grab Spider-Man 51.
I'm going to grab a chunk of metal and start shoveling dirt up on it. Try to put the flames out.
All right, so
and I might need my toothbrush too.
What we're going to do is I'm going to introduce you guys to. Usually, you use this for combat, but because this is a skill check area, it be similar. It's time intensive or time. Because it's a short timeline. We're going to use the combat system called ICR. That's what this system uses. The first phase is intent. Everybody says their intent. I will assign what dice you roll. Everybody rolls the dice, and then that's the C, and then we resolve the actions in order based on the speed. So, Foxy, what is your intent? What do you intend to do?
I'm going to grab a chunk of metal and use it to start shoveling dirt up on the fire to put the fire out. And I have to go get a drink, so I'll be right back.
Okay. What I'm going to have you roll then is your...
Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm still here.
What I'm going to have you roll is your throw. And since you have to go find a piece of metal to use kind of as a makeshift shovel, you're going to roll 2 speed dice, which is D5s. And that's going to be your speed dice. And then you're also going to have 1 difficulty dice, which is a black die. So make sure that you have 2 6-siders that match in color and 1 6-sider that matches or that's a different color. Don.
2 red and...
No, 2 blue and 1 black. And then your percentile, of course. Don, what are you doing?
Well, I don't see what much I can do in this situation. I'm sorry about your comic book.
So you're trying to do a calm other.
Yeah.
So wow. You're going to roll a calm other, and you're going to roll 1 blue D5. So it's a D6.
Awesome.
Don't count a 6.
It's a good thing I'm a pretty calm guy.
Mason, what are you doing?
Is that actually an opening to the north of the circle?
Yes, it is. To where you can kind of get through the fire if you want to.
He's going to, if it's that relatively close, he's going to make a grab for it.
Okay, so what I need you to do then is we're going to call it a... I don't know if it would be a climb or a balance. I think it would be more of a balance, so you kind of squeeze your way in there to not get the flames on you kind of thing.
Okay.
To grab it. So we'll call it a balance. It is insanely difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and have 1 black die for your your little woozy, and one black die for just because it's difficult, and then one speed die, blue die.
Okay.
So
And then
Nick,
Grant, what are you doing?
well, I had the same idea, and since he kind of beat me to it, I would like to support him somehow.
Okay.
Give him some stability.
So you're reaching out and kind of like holding on kind of thing?
Yeah, and also I'm prepared to shovel dirt on any fire that's getting close to his body.
So here, I'll tell you.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. We're gonna have you do a lift pull action.
Oh, we're in trouble.
So that way we can. So if you need to, you can pull him out.
Okay.
And you're gonna roll one blue die. Or no, I'm sorry. You're gonna roll. Bruce, how many blue die did I have you roll?
You had me roll 1 and 2 black.
Okay. Brant, I'm gonna have you roll one blue die, no black. I'm sorry, two blue die, no black. Sorry.
No percentile then?
The percentile with those dice.
Oh, for the lift pull.
Now,
Yes.
what is the black die? We want it to be low or we want it to be high?
Right. So now that we're describing how this works, so the black die is difficulty. You add that to your percentile roll, and you want to still keep it underneath your percentile.
Okay. And you're sure it's balance and not climb?
I'll tell you what, I will give you climb.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, well,
Not
So
that
instead
the
of-
90 will help, but
So
you know.
instead of trying to squeeze your way through the middle, you're trying to quickly climb over the fire debris kind of thing to get to the back.
Okay. All right.
sorry about the dirt I'm throwing on you.
You know,
Well, you're doing a lift pull, so you're there to like pull them out if you need them.
and the speed die also adds to the percentile.
Speed die does not. The speed die is completely separate.
Okay.
Is the blue speed die then?
Yes, the blue
Yes.
die is speed.
Okay. Well, I rolled as 8 to support you out of 32%.
Wow.
Okay.
I feel supported.
So real quick, the way that we resolve this is you just announce your speed die, your total on your speed die. If you did roll a 6, it does explode, and we resolve it from the lowest to the highest.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep, no worries. So you got a 1
So
on the
Nick,
speed
to
die?
verify,
Yes.
Well, nice.
I'm rolling 2 blue, 1 black, and percentile.
Correct. And then you're telling me what you got on the 2 blue dice.
I got a 6 on one blue and a 3 on the other.
So I need you to re-roll the 6, and right now you have an 8 plus whatever you re-roll because it exploded.
Plus 4.
All right, so you're on 12. Don, what'd you get?
I got a 25 and I have 35.
I just need the speed dice. Just the speed dice.
Oh, just the speed die, that's a 3.
A 3. Okay. Bruce is on 1, and Brant, what are you on?
7.
7. Okay, so the order is going to go Mason, Don, Brant, Foxy. So Mason, what do you have?
Well, here we go. Oh, okay. 40.
And what's your climb?
45.
All right, so you succeeded. So you have 1 success, so that's good. All right, so one success. Going to Don, who's trying to calm everybody down. What did you get?
I'm sorry about your comic book. It's a 25 out of 35.
So 25 out of 35. So you get the 1 success, and you beat it by 10. So that's 2 successes. So that's a total of 3 successes. Brant,
Yes.
go ahead and roll or what did you get for your lift?
I got an 8
Out
out
of
of 2 percentage.
8 out of what?
My skill is 32%, and I rolled an 8.
Very nice. Okay, so then
Very nice.
you actually got 2 more successes. So that's a total of 5 successes. And then Foxy, what'd you get?
I think she's still gone.
She's still getting her
No,
drink.
sorry, I had a starving cat who wouldn't get off of my dice tray. And he's bigger than I am. Okay. Which one was this, the reds or the percentile?
The percentile with the black die added in.
So I rolled 43 on my percentile and I rolled a 2 on the black die. So what is that?
So it's a 45. And
45.
is that underneath your throw?
It is not.
By how bad?
My throw is 37.
Okay, so you beat it, or it beat you by more than 10, right?
No.
No.
No, 8.
37 to 45.
8.
Oh, okay. So it's only one negative success. So, okay, you're as a net, as a group, you guys got 4 total successes. You had 5, and then Trish got a negative on that. So basically, here's how it plays out. Is Bruce, you kind of identify like a spot. Okay, this doesn't have too much fire on it. You kind of climb over that real quick, grab the bag, sling it over your shoulder. Meanwhile, he's keeping, Don is saying, well, I'm sorry about your comic book, and calming Grant down to where he doesn't think about the comic book, succeeds in that. So instead he can focus on grabbing you when you're coming back in to help pull you out of the wreckage. And he had to pull you out of the wreckage because right as you were climbing over the first piece of debris, this big thing of dirt hits you in the face, and now you can't see as Brent pulls you out.
What? Sorry.
So, but you managed to get his bag out.
Yeah. What was I on fire? What?
Well, you ain't now.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
So, you guys managed to. I assume that you guys are gonna for the night. You're gonna try to, because it is getting dark. You're gonna try to settle in the fuselage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But first, I would like to
They'll
take
know where to find us.
the bodies out of it, if there are any inside.
There is 2 inside. So yeah, you guys can pull those guys out.
I figure in the morning we can bury them.
Yeah, it was the flight attendant and the other first class passenger. Well, the other first class passenger probably is gone, but the other flight attendant.
Oh, it's like he probably flew out when the wing went off.
Right. So, but yeah, you're able to get the bodies out of there and set up I wouldn't say a comfortable living quarters. You have a roof over your head with seats.
Oh, I can throw something together.
Okay. So how are you guys going to try to outfit this?
I want a hammock.
I'm going to recommend that we
Not a bad idea.
grab the seat cushions. You can pull them off.
Yep.
Mhm.
So seat cushions that we were able to grab to line the area, because that'll help keep insulation.
Okay.
And then piece together blankets, and also if we can find stuff from the other people's luggage that we can use to drape over it to try to keep our heat in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna assist with that since I have the ability of resourceful, just try and pull things together to help.
Okay.
Tool wise to help her
And I actually have
as possible.
a bedroll and a tarp and high energy protein bars. for
Oh,
rations.
very nice. Very nice. Okay, so what I need you guys to do is shoot, I don't know what kind of, we'll just say I don't see a skill that necessarily does that. But anyway, yeah, okay.
Expression.
Oh, you know what?
Expression.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
think
there is survival.
Yeah, survival though is more like tracking and trapping and
Expression is how it
Also
looks.
knowing how to keep yourself safe in a situation like this.
yeah, go ahead and roll survival, because you guys are doing the insulation kind of thing and building a shelter. I would say that's survival. The other ones that you mentioned that you were trying to tie up a hammock, Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead and see here. I don't know what that would be under. I'll just give it to you. You can tie a hammock. I'm not, if you fail, you just try again. So you're tying up a hammock with the blanket and you said Mason, you're kind of setting up like a shelter.
Yeah, I'm setting up.
So go ahead and roll your survival as well.
Well, my dice have finally woke up. That would be a 10 out of 33.
Okay, well, very good, very good.
It is what he does.
So, so you guys are able to build out this airplane fuselage. You guys got the things packed up on both sides, kind of keeping insulation in. The windows areas that you've put drapes and stuff over that. Brant, what you got?
Yeah, you probably want to know this before you make this into the perfect little comfy. I just had my first failure, and it's a whopper, 98.
Okay, and
out of 32.
Out of 32. Okay.
Thank you, Brent. I feel better now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So you have you have it set up. Oh, this is perfect. I love this so much. All right.
My
So
apologies.
you have it set up and you're getting it. Okay. All right. You got the hammock set up. You're like, okay, this is going to be a nice thing. Don, as soon as you climb into the hammock and you're laying down on the hammock and it's doing the nice little rock, you're like, okay, this isn't too bad, right?
This is nice.
You start realizing the fuselage is starting to roll.
Oh my.
And it's starting to roll downhill. So
With us in it?
with you guys in it. And you guys have already blocked off all the exits with all these wonderful padding and installation things.
Had to keep the scorpions out.
Right. I need everybody to go ahead and make me a jump, leap, or a climb. Your choice.
How about roll?
Is there a roll?
I'm in a hammock.
All right. So you're just going to hang on for dear life?
Well, the hammock, I built a nice hammock.
All right,
it's going to keep twisting, and it's going to twist right around me. Protection.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. You can do a hold action.
Oh, yeah. See, that's better.
Wow.
Wow.
And after all the trouble we went to get your stuff for you, Brant,
I do appreciate it.
5 out of 35.
I have
5 out of 35 to hold.
The hammock is the safest place in this plane.
I also rolled a 5. My jump leap is a 28.
All right, so you're able to jump to safety pretty quick.
I got a 31 out of 45.
I know how to jump away from something dangerous when I need to.
Right.
31 out of 45 on a climb.
31 out of 45. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So you guys are doing it sounds like to me that everybody passed.
Brant.
Brant.
Yeah, well, just because my dice are making up for exactly how great they did earlier, I have a 31 percentage and rolled 60.
Oh my!
So Brant, you got what? 2 levels of failure?
Alan.
Or Alan? I'm sorry.
I'm one shy of an extra one, but yeah, I got 2 failures in there.
2 failures.
Sure.
So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna take 2 damage dice. So roll 2 d5s.
Oh yay!
6s explode. And let me know what you got.
3.
On 2 dice?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What's your damage threshold?
The damage is now. Hold on. What is damage dice? Is it 6s or 10s?
It's 6s.
Then they got 3.
Okay. And then what's your damage threshold? That's a number on your character
It's a
sheet.
5.
All right. So it's all superficial. Bumps and bruises.
Easy
nothing.
to patch. I'll patch that
And so
up.
we're not in
easy.
The Walking Dead. We're in Indiana Jones right now.
Right. Yeah. It's all superficial. It's bumps and bruises. It's you're doing the clown in the wheel or in the barrel as he rolls down the hill kind of thing. So
Fish,
it
cushions.
hurts.
Well done.
It hurts, but it's one of those ones that an ice pack and an aspirin can handle it.
I have this image of while we're rolling down the mountain, the dog is running alongside barking.
I had the dog in the hammock with me.
Oh, padding, smart.
That's why he's not taking any damage.
Yeah,
The
really.
hammock's just rolling with hell. Meanwhile, the dog is going. The dog is
doing this thing.
Yeah, come here.
Alan thanks Foxy for
here's you and the dog going through the.
Yeah, going in the hammock, it's rolling around us, so we're all tight.
Okay, get down, bud. So yeah, you get down to the bottom. Brant, you took a bunch of superficial damage. But here's the nice thing: where it stops, everybody jumps out and is kind of chasing after this thing that's rolling for quite a while. Where it stops, you see a highway off in the distance. So let me share the screen. This one. All right. So if you see where my cursor is here, let me get the annotate pen. So the fuselage stopped right about here. You guys were up here and just kind of rolled down this thing. You guys are right here, and
Okay.
you see a highway off in the distance.
Well, we might not have to wait for a plane after all.
Gonna do a thumb ride.
Do what?
I said we're gonna thumb a ride.
Well, you don't see any cars driving on the highway, but there is a road. It's, if you look at the road, it's
I'm gonna go look for a mile marker.
2 lanes going in each direction. All right, so you guys walk over there. There is not a mile marker there, but you are on the side of the highway. And
How well maintained does it look?
it doesn't look like they've done maintenance on this road in a long while. But at the same time, it doesn't look like a farm road, if that makes sense.
Can somebody get me out of this hammock?
Who's helping him and the dog get
I'm
out
all
of the
rolled
hammock?
up. It's like a caterpillar.
I've got a knife. I'll cut him out.
Well,
Get
if
right
you
next
cut
to
it, you're not going to be able to reuse it.
I can cut
Might
the
be
rope.
better
and then,
to tie him.
Well, if we can get a ride, maybe I won't need it.
would you
I
call?
Never
Don,
know.
Don, I thought you had enough of riding.
You know, maybe I'll be driving. I don't know.
Out of curiosity, how old is everyone?
29.
25.
21.
Yep. I get to be the old man.
Yep.
You're
Now,
how
Because
old?
he's
You
30.
are.
He's 30.
He's 30. Okay.
And as you know, in the military, 30's not young.
No, it's not
So,
at all.
Nick, what would you call this terrain?
I would call this mountainous desert
I'm glad to hear that.
because you have the biome survival biome.
Survival mountain. Yes.
Yes.
I need
So-
the planes.
So
Well, that's how you survived so far. You had survival plane. Good choice, Brant. Good choice.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right, so you guys walk over to the road. You guys are kind of right here alongside the road. You're looking. It's one of those ones where you look that way and the road just keeps going. You look that way and the road just keeps going. Not a car in sight.
What about
Is this
buildings?
is this
I
modern
got
time?
2 questions.
Yes.
There's a
So
couple
just-
trees.
Just to verify, he actually put the neck pillow and a couple of blankets, he stuffed them in the top of his bag,
Sure.
and he's holding one of the seat cushions by its handle because there's no reason not to bring it. And if we end up moving away from the plane and getting tired and settling down, he's got something to sit on.
Not to
Second
mention,
question is-
not to mention, it's a padded shield.
Yeah. So second question is, which direction is this road going? Is that road going north, east, south, or west as far as I can tell?
It according to the map that you're looking at, it's north. North is up. So
Okay.
so it's
So it's kind of going north that way and kind of going south that way.
right.
So I also have a question.
Sure.
What I do when he's done.
I pull my cell phone out. Do I have a reception?
You do. You
That's
have
what I
one.
was going to ask.
You have one bar.
Well, I can watch a nice
Foxy
YouTube
gets the
video.
wow. I never even thought of that. On his
Best,
face. Never dawned on him.
best of yet. Best of yet. You have one bar, and it's roaming.
Of course it
No.
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Well, I can't text anyone really.
Maybe if you hold it up high, you'll get a
Try
signal.
911. If anything goes through that, will.
Well, I'll try.
I pull out mine and I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I was
Same here.
wondering why nobody uses cell phone. I
To be
literally
honest,
have
it
We forgot
did
who
not
we were
cross
playing.
my mind.
Have-
Everybody else went to, oh, it survival. We just gotta, let's get blankets and pillows and stuff like that.
And me, I was on my phone
did
playing
not
games,
cross
and
his mind.
Meanwhile,
I-
the dog food salesman who's been playing Sudoku on his BlackBerry goes, "Well, let me try to make a phone call here."
Okay, I'm used to doing search and rescue where there is no signal. I didn't even bother to check. But I do have all my stuff in a backpack, like I am ready to go
Okay.
cross country.
So what is everybody doing with their cell phones?
911.
You're calling 911. Don,
looking at the news.
you're looking at the news. So you're trying to get a data signal to look at the news.
Yeah.
I'm trying to call Mom.
Alan, you're trying to call Mom. And Foxy, do you see these other three go pull out their cell phones? Are you going to pull out yours as well?
I don't, because what occurs to me is if we all use them and use up our battery, then we don't have one. And if
Fair.
we're
I
all
have a
trying to
backup
use
battery.
what little signal there is at the same time, that might interfere. So I don't pull mine out.
Okay, fair enough.
So
why I have a
I'm looking
backup
around
battery.
though to see if I notice any trails. So I'm going to just kind of do a little loop, see if I know any foot trails going any direction or anything.
It doesn't look like there's any foot trails. It looks like this is like, barren area that this little highway is going through. I will give you, after you're walking around for a little while, you do see a sign that does say 118. So Highway 118 or Texas Highway 118. So you at least know you're in Texas. But
And when he sees that, he says, "Hey y'all, we in Texas. Everything's bigger, even the trouble."
so
Oh no.
Please a crash.
so 911, you call 911.
Yes.
And it's calling, and then this automated response picks up and says, the all 911 circuits are currently busy. If this is a true emergency, please wait for the next available operator. If this is to report more riots or people fighting, please call, and then it gives another number. Or please call the CDC at such and such number.
CDC. Guys,
Now, Don, you said you were looking up news. This thing is moving slower than an AOL 56K connection, but you are able to pull up a report of the Dallas newspaper, or excuse me, the Dallas News, not Dallas newspaper, but Dallas News.
Yeah.
Morning Herald.
That says airport locked down due to unknown biohazard.
Well, that makes sense.
And then it says it says something to the effect of initial reports are reporting hallucinations as well as loss of sanity among those affected.
Now that's interesting. People going crazy.
Well, 911 says they're swamped because there is fighting and rioting going on everywhere, and that if that's what the call's about, to contact the CDC, the Center for Disease Control.
Brant, you are calling your mother, correct?
That's right.
That you get the machine.
Hey, Mom. Well, don't want to worry you. I hear there's some things going crazy, but, well, on my end, things went a little bit crazier. The plane kind of crashed.
Yeah.
But I'm all right. So are these other fellows. We're doing okay. We're trying to ride out here in Texas off the highway.
Highway 118.
What was that again?
Highway 118.
Highway 118. So if you get this message, I'm fine. So are these other fellows.
That's right. We're fine too.
I hope you are too. Please call me back. Are things crazy there too? Bye. Love you.
Did y'all say riots?
The
Yes.
most awkward telephone message ever.
Well, at least she knows the rest of us are okay too. That's what's important.
They're okay too.
I did take, the ability honor, and honesty is a part of that.
Yeah,
You know,
sound
that
like-
makes sense.
You sounded
makes
like
sense.
Owen Wilson in Life Aquatic.
All right.
We all
So
have our inspirations.
as you guys are, yes.
Gentlemen, my name, as I said earlier, which you may not remember, is Foxy Darden. And out of curiosity, who are you guys?
Mason.
You only got one name? Like Cher?
Well, it's
Like Prince.
not like Cher, but that's all I go by.
I am Donnie T. Johnson. I am a CEO of dog food.
The
And
best
your
the
friend
best
here?
part is the business is called dog food.
Just gonna say.
EAWG.
Dog
Oh
food.
my God.
Started in Kentucky, moved my way to Miami shortly after.
And your friend's name? And I point to the dog.
Oh yeah, that's Yogi. He's a good
And he's
guy.
just
And
sitting there
I-
on the side of the road. He's very hot. He has a lot
he
of
sits down.
I say,
I'm
your name?
Alan Wilson. Hi. I
And
just am.
what do you fellas do for a living?
Well, I already mentioned mine.
I actually do search and rescue up in the Colorado Rockies.
That's convenient.
Well, I work for a well-known electronics chain outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Flying up here to see my mother. Hi.
Hi. And you, sir? What do you do?
I
Are you-
reach into my pocket, my breast pocket, and I pull out a badge. I said, I mentioned I work for the airline. I actually work for the airline industry. I'm a sky marshal, and I put it back in my pocket.
Oh, excellent. When I write this down for my next novel that might be the first one I ever publish, you're going to be the main character.
Okay.
Well, okay
Mr.
then.
Johnson, is your friend well trained, or do we need to worry about him nipping at us if he doesn't like how we treat you?
No, I wouldn't treat me wrong, but I believe he is well trained.
Okay, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So, Mr. Mason, you got an idea on which way we should go? I haven't seen a mile marker, and I don't know this part of Texas. I mean, we seem to be in the middle of nowhere, but you can say that about any part of Texas. I'm from Louisiana, by the way.
Well, I'm looking at, I assume since we rolled down the mountain just after we got settled, it's night.
Yeah, so it is starting to get a lot darker. You do see often over here. You still see a lot of those fires burning, so that's kind of one of the big lights, and the smoke trail is massive.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking before we really need to worry about where we go next, we need to go ahead. I think it's been a rough day, and if we can recover our bedding, hammock, and otherwise, I think maybe
Just go ahead and settle in.
settling in for now, and then see where things stand in the morning.
That's
Well,
a good
I'm
idea.
reminded of the story about the RV up in the mountains. When you put a rock under the tire, it needs to be big as a grapefruit to start with and move up. So if we better brace it so we don't have another trip unexpected.
Probably.
We
a
also
good-
probably now want to prepare to make sure we don't have any coyotes on us.
Well, between Yogi here and if push comes to shove, I've got a firearm. I don't want to waste it on coyotes.
That's why I'm living in a hammock.
So you guys go back and
Now, did you want us to spin you back up with your dog for warmth? Was that a better?
5 twists.
Okay.
Five twists,
Okay.
five
Just
twists.
check it. Just check.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if we put, so basically towards the open end, if we put ourselves a little, not signifier, I mean the whole crash site's a signal. If we put a small one there, it'll keep coyotes from trying to come in the end here, and it'll provide some warmth.
Okay. So you build a small little campfire right
Yep.
on the end of the.
No problem. I've got.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll. You got it. You got a campfire on there. You kind of built up the thing again, and definitely found several. You couldn't find rocks, but there's a lot of like thicket type wood stuff. So putting enough and shoving enough in there to where you feel like it's braced fairly well. As well as building up some of the dirt and stuff like that. A couple rocks, but there's nothing really big. It's not like you're going to have big slabs of granite. But you feel comfortable that it's not going to roll, and you go to spend the night.
So Don, do you want to try getting in the hammock and swinging back and forth real hard? We'll know if it's stable.
I think as long as it holds me, I should be good.
Okay, just making sure. Want to make sure everything is cool.
What time of year?
10 feet off the ground.
Springtime. So March.
Okay. So out in the high desert, it'll be cold, but it won't be deadly as long as we're not stupid.
No. Yeah, and this is where you are in West Texas. It does get nippy at night, but not.
Yeah, this is, and setting this up is I'm used to. So
right.
I'll make sure everybody's got what they need and that we're squared away. I only have about a dozen of these protein bars, so we can have another one for breakfast.
Why don't we save those for tomorrow, unless anybody's starving?
Well, I already gave everybody one when we thought we were sleeping up the mountain. I already gave everybody one.
Well,
can you find some of those paper cups that they give you?
But no. I've got 4 bags of peanuts, and between the bar you gave us and these bags of peanuts, I don't think we should eat more tonight, just in case. Because if we got to walk out of here, sounds like they got troubles everywhere. It may take them longer to find us than normal.
Can I find some of those smaller cups?
Yeah, you can find some of those.
Well, if I can get some of those and hand everybody one, and then I'll pour them a shot of bourbon.
That'll help sleep.
So that'll keep us warm in the night.
That makes sense.
That's good.
I got 5 cans of soda. How about we split one and have it with the bourbon, because that gives us some calories and stuff. This here's one of them non-caffeinated ones.
Yeah, our priority tomorrow is going to be finding water. I'll just tell you that now.
Well, I got half a bottle of OJ we can have for breakfast.
So you guys bed down for the night. I did get a message from Brant that said that it's got to cut it soon, and it is. I did notice it is 10 p.m. So I think this was a good introductory to all the characters, to the environment, and we'll pick it up, some other time. I think this is a great game to play as a quarantine game. Hopefully.
This is our quarantine game.
I
think it's a real interesting group. I'm enjoying it, and frankly, I wasn't sure because although I watch things like The Walking Dead and all, I was like, well, I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it.
If you're a survival nut, you'll like this game.
And like you said, I think it's a really good mix of characters. I think we've got a good variety of bases covered.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sounds good.
Right.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
That was cool.
So
that was fun.
Luke, check with your dad. Were you going to get on with Trish and Ellie and I early tomorrow to do? So we need to figure out how to look